Good. All right, Hutch, get us started, please.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Carter. I'm curious, y'all have a bunch of marquee games on your schedule, but this one, does it feel a little bit extra, considering this is a team that ended y'all season last year?
I mean, it's not, it's a regular game for us. It's a game that we got to get. Very big game for us. They did beat us last year, but it's not a revenge game. I feel like this game we're gonna make a statement.
And for you personally, kind of what are you looking to do? I mean, the first few like big games, haven't probably been as good as you'd hoped. Kind of how are you hoping to maybe right the ship for yourself?
Just staying in the gym, trusting my work and just going out there and playing hard, doing the little things and just being active everywhere on the ball and just playing my game.
Anthony,
Yeah, hey Carter. I'm just curious, how much have you guys looked at the tape from last season's game between you guys, and just what do you notice when you look back at that, especially looking at JT Top and Christian Anderson, those guys?
Well, first we should have won that game. Looking back at that tape now, but they're two pretty good players. JC Toppin, Big 12 Player of the Year, and Christian Anderson, a big player for their team. So we've been watching the tape, and we're prepared, and we've been scouting for them, and I feel like we're gonna come out with this win.
And obviously, you guys played in Dallas last season against Baylor. I know that one also didn't go the way you guys wanted to, but anything you remember about playing in Dallas? What's the environment like there? And yeah, just what do you like about playing there?
I mean, I love playing in Dallas. The fans they came last year. It was crazy. It felt like we was back in Bud Walton. But so we need that same energy. When we play in Dallas.
Matt.
Yeah, hey Carter, thanks for the time. Just to follow up on that, I mean, what's the ratio of how much film you guys have been watching of last year compared to what Texas Tech is doing this season? What's kind of the ratio there?
It's not a lot. Last year they had different players. This year, they got new players, and they run a lot of new sets and new plays and stuff. So we're mainly focused uh, uh, on this team scout. We're not really paying attention as last year, but they do run the same plays last year and how we guarded it, how we defended it. We was up at 16 at one point. So, we obviously did a pretty good job on them. So that's what we've been doing.
What has Coach Cal been focusing most on this week?
Focusing on defense, defense and rebounding. Texas Tech, they get a lot of trying to get an offensive rebounds, try and play physical. But we've been doing straight rebounding drills, almost like football drills. We're ready for this team.
And just to follow up on JT Toppin, I mean, what are things about him that just makes him so effective, having gone up against him last year?
No, he has great touch around the rim, great touch around the rim and a very active offensive rebounder. Big 12 player of the year. He's pretty good.
And last one for me, you just said that you guys want to make a statement. Is that something that you guys are talking out loud about? Is that something maybe more silent, common knowledge? What about that?
We're just talking out loud. I feel like we're the best team in the nation, and we got to prove it on Saturday and prove for the whole season.
Thanks.
Jackson.
Yeah, Carter, you've already kind of talked about the disappointment of losing last year, but I'm just curious personally. I mean, you scored 20 points at a big late clutch three that looked like it might do it. I mean, what do you remember? Do you remember the positives of that game for you personally last year against Texas Tech?
Oh yeah, I most definitely do. I'm sorry. Remember the positives. It was very a good moment for me. Good and bad moment. The good moment was, that was the best game I ever played all season. The bad moment is that was the last game of my season. So it was kind of crazy for me, but you know.
Did that give you a new, I don't know, level of confidence, belief, anything heading into the offseason with that type of game?
Oh yeah, most definitely. My confidence, was already through the roof, and I felt confident just coming back, playing with these guys. These guys we're just so well team chemistry, and I feel like that's why I say we're the best team in the nation.
Uh, I know you guys, Cal said he didn't watch the film until this year. I mean, did you go back and watch highlights of that game before prepping for Texas Tech? As a player, do you also put that aside and just kind of not worry about it since it's the last game of the season?
I did. I went back just to see, just to see, that like the whole game. They had the full game on YouTube. I just watched it a few days ago. So I just had to watch that game. It was a very good game, a game that we should have won. But I'm past that. I'm focused on Saturday.
What can you tell me as a guy that, you come in with Billy, the same class, and he's talked about working on his jump shot. Cal's talked about it. How can you kind of shed some light to us what it was like maybe watching him behind the scenes, his work ethic on becoming a better shooter this offseason and this season now?
He's been in the gym, after practice, getting up shots and working out. So, just seeing that and just seeing him get better, it's really someone's like joy, it's like he's gotten a better shooter and he's proven himself that he's a worker and want to be great.
I know you guys have had confidence all year, but do you feel like the team needed that Louisville game at home to just come away with, to play a marquee opponent and get a win? I mean, how much was that kind of a needed boost in the middle of the non-conference slate?
Well, it would definitely need a boost. Coming off that loss from Duke, that was a very big game that we should have had. But Louisville, they came to us. We hit them in the mouth first. They came back, but we held ground and got the win. Most important, the fans were going crazy that game. So
Last one for me. I mean, you guys have four returnees, but you also have a lot of newcomers. Have the guys that were a part of that game last year talked to the freshmen or the transfers just about, getting a little bit of a revenge or anything like that?
nah, 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 they didn't talk to him, but we talked to them though. The guys last year they didn't really talk to him, but Wag, Bill and I and TB, we all talked to him about how this team is very scrappy, offensive rebound, and they won't give up.
Appreciate it, Carter.
Problem.
Matt, you got another one?
Yeah, I guess just to follow up, when you were talking about Texas Tech to the newcomers, what were some of their reactions to that? I think Darius talked a little bit about it in Little Rock, but just their reactions.
The first reaction was we should have won that game. It was up 16 and you should have won that game. That was their first reaction. But but I said, look, we won that game, we would have won the national championship. You wouldn't have seen us. So, but I told them they watched Christian Anderson, Darius, that's his matchup. And Christian Anderson, very skilled, he's all right. But I feel like Darius is ready for that matchup. Malik Thomas and Zay Sealy, they all ready for that matchup. We're all ready.
And then I guess just following up on Billy too. What's it like kind of playing with him? It seems like Coach Cal has insinuated that both of you guys can kind of spur each other on during games, I guess. Just playing the
Yeah.
same position.
It just, we compete with each other in practice. We complete each other. So that's my man, that's my dog. But Bill, he always there. He do his thing on the court. He boosts his energy around the team. He's not a he's energetic. Like he's Bill. You don't ever get tired.
Hutch, did you have a follow-up? All right, guys. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Carter.
Yes, sir, no problem.